Hey everybody, how you doing tonight? This episode's going to go off the rails. I'm pretty sure of it. We're going to talk about using the scientific method to improve your click-through rate. So stick around. We're going to talk about ways you can experiment with your thumbnails and ways to try to get them better. Better? Yes, ways to make your thumbnail better. So stick around. We're going to talk about some tips, but we're going to talk about the scientific method first. Why? Why the scientific method? Because the scientific method, let's define it first. The scientific method is simply making a smart guess about something you notice and then testing it to see if you were right. If the test agrees, great. If not, refine the guess and try again. So let's talk about the scientific method. Let's go here first. All right, so we want to define the problem. Why isn't my thumbnail getting clicks? Is it low CTR? Not standing out? Then we want to do some research. We want to look at competitors. We want to look at trending thumbnails and your own past top performers. Then we want to form a hypothesis. If I change one element, will my CTR increase? Maybe. And we'll talk about that. Design the experiment. Decide what that one element you'll test. You're going to change the color of it. You're going to put a different face. You're going to show more emotion. You can change the wording. And then we're going to run an experiment. We'll upload the new thumbnail. We'll let it gather enough impressions. We'll analyze data. We'll use YouTube analytics, click-through rate, impressions, average view duration. And then we're going to draw conclusions and repeat. Did CTR improve? If yes, apply the principles elsewhere. If not, test a new variable. Now, what variables are we talking about? Well, let's talk about that. So here are thumbnail must-haves. Must have a clear subject, one main focus, a face, an object, a concept, a readable text, 3 to 5 words max, really. Needs to be a bold font, really strong emotion. Lots of those, I think those are out though. Do we still want to go see people's teeth? I don't know. High contrast colors, just something that catches the attention. You want it to be color patterns, color palettes to go together. Branding consistency. So if you have a brand, you want to be consistent when you're showing that brand. And then curiosity gap. What is it that you can show that's enough to get them to click? Because you're not giving them the full answer until they click and they find out. And then mobile friendly. So we'll play around with this here in a minute. I'll show you a tool that I love that makes it easy to find out if your thumbnail looks good or not. So let's talk about that. All right. So let's go. This is going to be a little weird. Let's stick with this. Let's see if it happens. All right. So we ask, why isn't my thumbnail working? We ask that question. And then we hypothesize. We come up with a theory. If I change X, CTR improves or gets worse. Okay, CTR, click-through rate. Then we test. We test one element. We just change one thing, and we see if it makes the thumbnail better. And does it improve click-through rate? We'll find out. And then we'll collect data. We'll look at your YouTube analytics. We'll say, okay, this is what's working. This is what's not. You get that process. And finally, we analyze and we repeat. I know, my writing needs work here. Analyze and repeat. I got to find pens that work better. These pens are not working, so we'll find out. So we analyze and we repeat. What worked, what didn't, and we just keep trying until it worked. Now, let's go over here. Let's go show Chrome share. I gotta go do some sharing. All right, left Chrome. There we go. All right. So this is my favorite website for testing thumbnails. This is thumbsup.tv. Okay? And you drop a thumbnail right here. You put what your titles are going to be. And then you can scroll through and say, okay, this is what it's going to look like on the home screen. It's large. Here's the home screen, small. See, I can't read the writing. I can't read burnout really well on that one. So it's going to look on the sidebar. Is what it's going to look like. So you can't read that. You just see two people, but that's it. So this is not a clear thumbnail. It doesn't make a lot of sense as done. It shows channel page, watch later list. Here's what it looks like on mobile. Column. Here's what it'll look like on Apple TV. And then here's the original image. So, okay. That doesn't look amazing. So then I will go and put a different image there. Okay. And now we'll look. Oh, nope, same one. Come on out. Let's fix this. Ta-da. Okay. So let's take a look at this one. Okay. So the text is a little easier to read, but I should make it bigger. I was trying to avoid landing it on top of people in the video. And so that's kind of how it worked. It looks pretty good here. You can't read it here. So the text doesn't tell you anything. You know, if you can make a thumbnail with no text, some people say that tells a better story. I don't know. I haven't had any success like that. All right, let's go try this one. Okay, here is another attempt. You know, here you can almost read burnout defined. You know, here I can't, I mean, I can read it because I know what it says, but I can't read it. Here you can read it. So which one of these thumbnails is the one to go with? None of these seem to be great. You know, here it's not bad, looks good. Here, okay. Here, it's really, really small. So you go to thumbsup.tv and you type in what you would think your title is going to be, and you drop thumbnail image here, and you see what you get for your troubles. So, what do you think about that? Now, let's go and take a look at, here's the video. So, this is a video I did. And I'll bump it up so you can see it easier. All right, there we go. Okay. I did this video, and I was sad. It wasn't getting the views that I thought it should have. And so I changed the thumbnail thinking that would make a difference. And it didn't make any difference. No, not really at all. It kind of just dropped off even more. So I shot this video like this. So with YouTube, you have an option. I can go right here and I can do test and compare. So how many have played with the test and compare option? So you can't unfortunately do this with live videos. I do wish there was an option to do this with live videos. Hint, hint, YouTube, you added a bunch of features today. I'd like you to add that option. So I'm going to go and change this. And I'm gonna take some of those that I just showed you, and I'm gonna put some of those in here, and I'm gonna see what happens. Create burnout. Okay, so I'll open this one, put that there, and then defined. Nope. See, I don't really like either of those thumbnails, so I could go into Canva and go make a new one. And before I go there, let's go look at something. Okay. So here is the thumbnail checklist. These are 7 must-haves that you should have. 1, you have a clear subject. The main focus should be a face or an object or a concept. Readable text, 3 to 5 words max. Strong emotion, high contrast colors, consistent branding, curiosity gap, and mobile friendly. So I just showed you thumbsup.tv, and we looked. And now we're going to go and see if we can make it better. All right. So now I'm going to go back to sharing, because sharing means caring. Oops. Bring up the sharing. Okay, hang on. I hate when I have days like this. Days like this. Okay. So here is one of those thumbnails. There's another thumbnail. There's another thumbnail. What if I take this one, okay? And let's look at that checklist. That checklist said we need to have bold colors. So look at that. What if I take this big image and put that over? So I've got characters. Do I have too many characters? Do I need to remove one of these faces? Maybe I need to remove this one. Maybe I need to take this picture. Hang on. And drag it over. Okay. Okay. And now I'm going to take this and I'm going to make it transparent. More transparent. I'm going to have burnout defined. There we go. All right. Okay. So maybe a little more transparent. So I'm going to do these little tweaks and see if it's a better thumbnail. I'm going to share it. Download. I only want thumbnail number 2. Done. Download. Okay. Make sure I put it in the same folder so I can find it. Burnout 4. Let's do Burnout version 4. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to my video here. And I'm going to change this one out. I'm going to change it for this new one. Okay. And I'm going to say done. And so I'm going to run a test. And I'm going to get my video to come back. There we go. Love when it does that. Okay. And I'm going to save. Okay. So now for 2 weeks, it's going to test that thumbnail. And so if you see it now, you see it's got 3 different thumbnails there. It's in a test. So it's going to do a test. And we'll go look at the analytics now. Okay. Thumbnail. And let's go to advanced. All right. So here's the advanced. All right. Okay. So we look here, we see the impression click-through rate was 1.6%. That's terrible. So we'll see. YouTube supposedly will go out and re-look at your video if you made a change. And so I've changed the thumbnail. I've told it to do a test, and let's see what happens. Okay? So it'll be a few days before we get answers, but we'll give it a shot. We'll see what happens. And so I think that's going to be a neat test. We'll see what happens and see what comes back. And so what I did is I made one change, and I want to see how that comes back and how that works. And that's what you should do. You should find one change, and then you should do a test. And test to see what thumbnails people like, which one are the most useful to them. So we'll see there what happens. Now, we're going to go back to Thumbs Up TV. And I'm going to take this thumbnail I just made and drop it in. And now you can see burnout defined a lot easier. Even on the small one, burnout defined. And you see the fake doctor. You know, because I was trying to be comical, and it's supposed to be a fake doctor and me talking with each other. So that one is easier to see, right? And so this may do better. What do you think? Now, the other thing that you can do is if you have ChatGPT or whatever your favorite AI is, And let's go and show ChatGPT. So here I'm at ChatGPT, and I'm going to go and upload the thumbnails. So I'm going to upload 4 thumbnails, and I'm going to say, of these 4 thumbnails, which is the best? Yeah, ChatGPT can do that. Gonna move me out of the way. Okay, so it will go and look, and it will tell me what it thinks is the best thumbnail. Okay, the green text one doesn't pop on mobile. Define quickly gets lost. Red, slightly templaty, but it's the most click grabbing. Okay, so it says that one. Gradient, missing the word defined. Okay, which weakens clarity. Red transparent overlay. Text blends too much to face background. Hardest to read at a glance. Unique layout. Full overlay, but readability kills effectiveness. So it's already told me it doesn't think my thumbnail is good. So it prefers my second one. And it says, hey, do you want me to create 2 or 3 mock-ups? Yes, go for it. Yes, go for it. So it's going to create alternate thumbnails to show me what it thinks would be a better thumbnail. Now, will I use those? I don't know. All right, let's go see who's in the chat, y'all. I see you guys out there, so hang on. Shout out. Da-da-da. David W. Ryan, how are you doing tonight? Welcome, welcome. Laura, how are you tonight? Hello, hello. I know, yes. I have gone off the deep end, haven't I? Pretty much. I am tearing thumbnails apart, trying to make them better, and trying out this crazy whiteboard experiment. That was messed up, wasn't it? I was trying something, but my whiteboard didn't look cool enough, so I need to do a better job with that. So yeah. Now, what is your scientific process for improving things on your channel? This is just an example of how to be scientific with thumbnails and click-through rate, and to just see if you can make one change and upload that and see if it's going to make a difference. Now, I know what ChatGPT just told me. It said it hated the thumbnail that I just created, but I like that thumbnail, and I'm probably going to be wrong. But at this point, the video that I thought was a very good video did not do well. I think it's because people just didn't click. The low click-through rate, 1.6, is a very low click-through rate. If you can get a 10, you are gangbusters. Amazing. Yes. But, then there's the whole debate. Well, average view duration versus click-through rate. It's better to have a longer average view duration with a low click-through rate than it is have a high click-through rate and a very low average view duration. So it's a battle. So, but we're trying to be scientific, and we're trying to make just one change. And so, you need to go out. You need to go find that video that you thought, man, this is my favorite video. I hate it did not do well. I think I did good with it. What can I do to make too hot on the whiteboard? Yeah, I know. I'm working on that. I know. It's too hot on the whiteboard. I was trying. Let's see what happens. I made an adjustment. Let's go see. Yes, still too hot. Too hot. It was worse before because I'll show you what was worse before. How about that? That better? I had George on. Now I look red, but that's okay. I can live with that. I had George on, and George put a big hot spot on. So let me show you this. Ziggy, turn on George. And see, washed it out and put the sun. There's the sun shining on it. All right, Ziggy. Well, I like the Christmas of it. I got to figure out how to light this whiteboard. So it's going to be a challenge. I will figure this out. I will figure it out. It will get better. I will make this better. We can make it better, faster, and cheaper. Ziggy, turn off George. So, all right. Yeah. All right. So, those are my thoughts. Hey, I see some more folks out there. Let's break out the chat. Ta-da. Shout out. Hey, Florence, how you doing? Yes, David, thank you. I appreciate that. I suspected it might be. I need to work on it. This was an experiment. I still don't know why I thought I had to have a whiteboard in this video. I'm still working on it. We'll figure it out. I would submit the decision depends on your goal for one video and for a channel overall. In this particular case, I'm trying to resurrect a video that I thought should have done well, that I did not get a high click-through rate on, and that I think if people gave it a chance, the video would do better. So my goal is to bring traffic to that video, to have more people give it a chance and see if they liked it. And that's where I'm at. So we'll see. I will do better videos. I will keep doing videos, but it's been some strange times here. All right. Well, that's it. I'm going to do a short show for tonight, but I just wanted to cover that topic and kind of talk about how you should do the scientific method. Make only one change and see what the impact is. For older videos, you can afford the time it takes to wait it out. Maybe you don't want to do that for newer videos. Maybe you do want to do something to make those videos do better. You want it more quickly. They always say the first 48 hours is the most critical for any new video. Live videos, though, kind of lose the energy after a couple of days as well, at 48 hours. No, most folks don't like to watch a live video and go back and say, well, it's not live now, so it's not as interesting. So, all right, that's it for tonight. Thank you so much, everybody that showed up. I hope you have a wonderful evening. And, yeah, so I'm supposed to press a button like this. Hey, YouTube is going to put a video right where I'm at and say, watch me. And you should always, whatever YouTube says, you should do that because YouTube is king. It's awesome. So everybody have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.